HARIOM. Welcome to this English translation of our Guruji's Online Satsang. Please keep that in mind that as this is an English translation, it is possible that some of the information has been lost during the translation process. So if something said on this video doesn't bode well with you or raises questions, please leave your concerns in the comment section below, so that we might clear up any confusion to the best of our abilities. Our interest is not to create confusion, but to clarify things for those who are seeking their spiritual enlightenment. We hope that these videos bring lots of insight for you, because we want to spread our Guruji's message. That is why we have taken on the task to make these videos for you, with the best possible equipment and procedures available to us. So without further ado, we hope you enjoy this video. Leave a like, subscribe, and comment. This was the Nispruhyog Kriyayog team, HARIOM. This satsang began with a question: why do we need to do our japa according to the rhythm of the breath? Swamiji answers to this by telling us about the three types of japa. First being the vachik japa, which is an audible form of the japa. So you are chanting audibly, Ram, 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 Krishna, 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 or whichever mantra your guru has given you. The second japa is called upansu japa, which is not an audible version of the japa. So you are doing the japa by moving your lips. Whatever japa you are doing, your lips move according to that. And the third is the manasik japa, which is purely in your mind, and you are doing this japa according to the breath. For example, when we're breathing in our minds, we chant Han, and when we are breathing out, we chant Sa, Han, Sa, and doing this according to the breath. When we attach this breath to the chanting, then it will become easier to do it in the mind. If you think about how you learned the ABCs, you started out by pronouncing everything out loud. A for apple, B for ball, C for curtain, or whatever way your teacher taught you to pronounce the alphabets. And when you were reading out loud in front of the class for your teacher, you would read out loud. And as you developed, then you were just able to read in your mind. Now in the second phase, your teacher might have still wanted to see that you were reading, so that you had to keep your lips moving according to the reading, just so that the teacher could see, so that you would be able to learn better. And later on, you were able to just read without having to move your lips. Just in your mind, you started being able to read. And then the teacher would quiz you on your comprehension of the text, so what you understood. So this very same principle is used in doing japa, so that you learn to do japa everywhere at all times. The nature of the mind is such that it gets distracted easily. For children, if they were not reading out loud or with their lips at first, then their minds would wander around and the teacher would not be able to impart them with the knowledge needed for reading. So as one advances in performing the sadhana, then the form of japa also changes. The reason that we are training for japa is that this understanding will come, that things happening within you and outside of you are not actually done by you, that they are happening automatically. Typically, the mind is always saying that I am doing this, I'm taking care of my child, I am studying, I am eating, watching, doing. So this is creating identification. And when you practice japa, you notice that these things are still happening without your mind always thinking that I am doing it. And then this understanding will come. So the knowledge is coming automatically when you have attached your japa with your breath, that you are not actually doing anything. Rather, there is an energy within you that is doing all these things. And this kind of identification that is happening with an uncontrolled mind inflates the ego. It's literally that your ego becomes bigger, your sense of self, and you will start thinking that you are doing everything, when in reality you are not. So that is why all the misery and suffering is happening, because things are not going the way you want, so you become anxious, and every kind of problem will start rising from within you. So as you're disidentified with the doer, then everything that the doer is doing, you understand that it is not you. So the miseries and the joys attached to this doing don't belong to you anymore. So you become disidentified with the doing. Everything happening is just happening now. You become free of the fruits of the actions, whether those be good or bad. So when you become detached from this duality of good and bad, happiness and sorrow, you're just within you, always satisfied. And this way, nothing can disturb you, ever. No one can create happiness or sadness within you. Everything is just happening around you, and you can just enjoy it as it is. You will just always be centered in your own being, never deviating from that. So the second question is, why people in the olden times used to be more content with life, despite not having the common comforts that we nowadays have in society? These amenities and technologies that we think are necessities nowadays. Cell phones, televisions, vehicles, all sorts of things. How were they able to be so happy and content, even though they still had a lot of free time after their work was done in the field? Oh, and also their work used to be a lot more arduous than the work nowadays. Like physical labor, you would have to do a lot to earn your bread during those days. But still, people were happy. Where were they able to keep their minds engaged so that they would not grow anxious? Swamiji tells us that before, people used to do what were called bhajan saptahas or nam saptahas. Saptaha means 7 or 7 day in this context. And this would be a quote-unquote marathon of doing a certain pious activity for a whole week without stopping. Now, typically it wasn't that one person who would be doing this for 1 week. This Nam Saptaha would be divided for many people, so that those who were working during the night would engage in this Saptaha in the morning or during the day. Those who were more working in the morning would engage in the Saptaha during the day or in the evening or when they had free time. And those who were working in the night would be engaged in the Saptaha in the morning or in the daytime. So this way, the Saptaha would be divided to people depending on when they were available. And because they were engaging in this spiritual behavior, in where they would be chanting the name of the Lord, using their energies in such an activity, it would convert that energy into spiritual energy for them, and subsequently their mind would become purified. In also other countries where they didn't have saptahas, people still used to practice spirituality on a more day-to-day basis. Like they would go and listen to sermons and do prayer and sing or listen to religious songs. People were engaged in this spiritual activity back in the day, and this is what kept them sane and stable, because this spiritual activity creates satisfaction from within, so that you don't need to be seeking sensory pleasures all the time. When you are always seeking for the next thing, you're automatically, that makes you unhappy, uncontented with the situation that you are currently in. Like you would be seeking a thing to watch right after you watch something else, like a movie, or thinking about parties and which kind of party and event you will visit next. So even before you've had the party that you're planning to go, you're already thinking of the next one. The seeking of sense gratification is what is creating misery and instability in a human being. So as people don't practice this devotional singing or mantra or japa, then this creates depression in a human being. They are putting their minds to some things that are not creating, essentially keeping their minds away from God. Like we have previously already discussed in these episodes, when you attribute your happiness to something material, then you will never be happy. Because the thinking is that you will be happy once you get this. Once you get that, the thinking will not change. It will still be, you'll be happy once you get this. Just the object will change. And because of this, people have lost their ability to control their mind. They've essentially lost themselves in this illusion. And often people try to circumvent this by putting on these, so to say, spiritual band-aids on. It depends where you are from. In India, they might go to some what are called babas or some miracle doers who might perform some ritual or miracle and say that whatever problem that you are seeking help with will just now disappear, and you are giving them something in return, like you are giving God something and now God will make your problems disappear, like that. Now in Western countries there are also some spiritual practitioners. Lots of different kinds of things are popping up, and a lot of those are also kind of like these spiritual band-aids. They do something in hopes that it will just change their lives overnight. Swamiji tells us a story that his father used to tell him about the importance of japa. Here it is told that Mahadeva, Shiva, used to say HARIOM all the time. Now there was a sage whose name was Narada Muni, who is considered to be the greatest devotee of Lord Vishnu. And Narada Muni had a certain power that he could go anywhere and meet anyone. And he had this question in his mind about why Shiva says HARIOM. So Narada Muni went to Kailash and asks Shiva that why are you always chanting HARIOM? And Shiva just said that I can't tell you because I don't know. So why don't you go and ask Vishnu? So Narada Muni goes to Vishnu and asks him. And Vishnu tells him the same answer, that he doesn't really know. Why don't you go and ask Brahma, the creator of the universe? So Narada Muni goes to Lord Brahma and tells him, Shri Brahma, you are the creator. Surely you will know that what significance does HARIOM have? And Brahma also tells him that he doesn't really know. So have you tried asking Yamaraja? Yamaraja is the lord of the dead and he resides in the underworld. So Narada Muni goes to the underworld, and from the distance he can see Lord Yama, and the lord of the dead is signaling Narada Muni to keep his mouth shut. There are some souls going through their torment for the sins that they have committed here around Lord Yama. And Narada Muni is very adamant about asking this question. So as he's going closer to Yamaraja, he's telling him that, why are you shushing me? I came here to ask you a question. What is the significance of Hari? And the moment he said Hari, all the souls that were around them instantly became liberated from the sins that they had committed and were able to take rebirth on earth. Now Lord Yama tells him that now you understand the significance of HARIOM. You didn't even need to say Om yet. Just Hari alone was enough to liberate these souls from the underworld. So now you know. Just imagine what significance the word HARIOM has. So this is the importance of the name of the Lord, the significance of it. When you are chanting it, it is not meaningless. And one should be alert about how much one is saving in their bank account. So one should be aware of how much they are saving in their bank account of name japa. When you are chanting the name, be aware that you are putting this in your own bank. And we should also be telling our children to save some nam jap every day, that they will put some amount of nam jap in their own bank. This habitual saying will keep them on track in life. We don't need to know who will be their guru or what kind of path they will take up in life. Once they take on that next step, it will already be a huge benefit for them that they have already started investing in the chanting of the name. So there is one devotee of Swamiji who has his child also practicing his chanting of the name, and the understandings, the insight, the realizations and the knowledge which this devotee is gaining now in his adult age, his young son is already getting at the age that he is at. So this is really the power that the chanting of the name has, and we should take it in the upbringing of our children as well. Next up, Swamiji tells us not to ask for anything in return for the name chanting that we are doing. Don't keep account to make trade with God. I have done this much japa. Why don't you give me this? This way you should not be. The name chanting is for your own benefit, not in the sense that a material benefit. It is soul satisfaction. So don't put any expectation to it. Don't have any expectation that I will do my japa, now I will become a rich man, I will get nice people around me, I will get good food, everybody will love me, etc. This is not for that. You will not care whether you are rich or not. Swamiji gives an example that there are saints who undergo long periods of times without food as per their sadhana, but they don't ask God for food either. They are accepting that God will give them what they need. God, what you want me to have, you will give me. What you don't want me to have, you will not give me. Simply they are in acceptance of that. After many years having done their sadhana, they don't want anything. They don't even want to see their God. They are just asking for the pain or the longing to see God. That you can do whatever you want with me. You can do anything you like with me, good or bad. Just don't allow me to forget your name. Just give me that pain that if I'm not with you, I will still keep chanting your name. They pray that God will never allow them to stop chanting His name. In this way, they are not asking for any benefit from God, just to have that longing, the pain of that missing, and that's enough. These kinds of saints, they say that sins and virtues are the same, that there is really no difference. When you are in this kind of state, where you are constantly in the love of God, then you don't care about what is a sin and what is a virtue. But people who are not in this state, they misunderstand and twist the words of these saints, and they give themselves justification to do what they like. Oh, there is no sin or virtue, so I can behave badly, I can smoke, I can kill an animal, I can do whatever I like. You know, this kind of such justification in their own situation, whatever is their own situation. They're giving that justification, oh, well, if there's really no virtue or no sin, then no problem if I do this. But of course, they're not in that state of that constant love for God, so naturally, how can they understand? These kinds of saints, they just want to keep chanting with more selfless love, with more purity of the heart. And they just want to keep chanting. And this state is called Atma Anusandana, which translates into always in inquiry of the soul, or in this connection to the soul, and never separate from it. And it's silly to ask these people if they have seen God, because these people have become Him. No need to see God in that state. In the last part, Swamiji tells that people always think that I am good and everyone else is bad. But they think that the faults are always in others, never in themselves. So people have this kind of judgmentality of others. We might look at some person and think that they have this kind of bad quality. Oh, this person is smoking, or oh, this person is not doing something that should be done, or this person is behaving badly, etc. Often we are looking people like that, forgetting completely to look at the good sides of others, and subsequently forgetting to learn those good qualities. So we're just looking at them and we are looking at the bad qualities. If we do this, then those bad qualities will imbibe in us. Those bad qualities will transfer over to us. We are busying our minds with those bad qualities, and we are not looking at the good qualities. We are wiping them away, and then we are not learning those good qualities. We should be looking for good qualities in people and not the bad, and imbibe those good qualities in ourselves. This is very important. And when you are seeing your Guruji, you should not be looking at the things that he is doing, or you should be looking for the good qualities or the things that you want to imbibe into yourself from him. You should not look, for example, when is he going to sleep, when is he waking up, how much is he eating, how much is he doing that, and how much is he doing this. Look for the good qualities and don't judge your Guruji in a negative way. So there was one disciple of Buddha, his name was Ananda, and Ananda was very obsessed with Buddha's body. He would be always looking at him. When is he going to sleep? When is he waking up? When is he switching his side in his sleep? How is he waving his hand? How is he eating? Etc. So while Buddha was alive, Ananda could not understand this beauty of Buddha. Once Buddha left his body, did he understand the knowledge, the truth about Buddha? So be careful while you are here. Which kind of qualities are you taking on yourself? You should always be looking for the good qualities, those things which will advance you, rather than taking those regressive qualities. Especially gossiping about others' bad qualities is very harmful for spirituality. So look at people in a good way. See their good qualities, or admire those good qualities in them. If you see something that you don't want to have in yourself, just make it apparent to yourself that you will not take on that poor characteristic, but still don't hold that against the other person. Just look for the good in them. HARIOM. Thank you for watching this video of our Guruji's online satsang. We hope you enjoyed it like we enjoyed bringing it to you. If you would like to see more content like this, then please subscribe to our channel, leave a like and a comment on this video. If you would have any question to ask from our Guruji, please leave it in the comment section below and we will transmit it to him. We have just started out making these videos and we know that our production quality is not the best it could be, as we are gaining more experience and better equipment in order to make these videos for you. If you have suggestions on how we could improve the quality of our videos, you can leave those in the comment section below or send them to our email, which is in the description of this video. And if you would like to meet with our Guruji or to get initiated into Kriya Yoga, then please contact us through the contact details that are shown in the description of this video. And don't forget to share this video with your friends so that they could also have the opportunity to hear our Guruji's sacred teachings. We truly hope that you enjoyed this video. And we thank you for your time and attention. And we hope to see you again on this channel. This was the Nispruhyog Kriyayog team. Jai Guru, HARIOM.